Hello everyone, this is your boy Gideon. Like I said, like I will be back in another episode. I'm so excited. It's been over like a month since I told you guys that like we will be back with an interview with some people, some friends of mine. But this one is a special because it's one of my brother that like we went to the war together, playing back in Miles City and farther even back when we made our first in Georgia. One of a great human being in this earth. Like their level of people. By him, I call him a brother. Please welcome my brother, Isaac Abate.
What's up,
What's up,
man? How
bro?
you doing, bro? How
Good,
you
how you
doing,
doing?
bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
doing
man, I've
great.
been good.
It's been a
Oh
long
no.
time, man, since what was the last time we met again?
And
Like
last
the
time I
last time we
seen
saw
you
each
was
other
like right before, I think this when COVID started. So this had to be
for
like
COVID.
29. Now, this is like right when COVID hit. And remember everybody left? Then you left?
Yeah, I think it was
I think you left.
2020.
This is like 2019. No, no,
Mhm.
yeah. No, 2020. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
early 2020. I saw you at the start of 2020. This is like right after we played the game
The
against
rest we
Dawson. This might
lost,
have
right?
been like, yeah, this had to
Like
be
after like
like,
a couple of days, yeah.
yeah, this had to be like a week after.
Hmm.
And then I remember coach saying, yeah, the school's shutting down. And then everybody was able to go home. But I just ended up staying. Because yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't really want to go back home. And I was still trying to figure out what school I was going to after. So I just decided to stay on campus when that happened. But I remember you left. I think you went, did you go back to Georgia then? Or
Yeah, I went back like maybe like after a week after we lost the final. Like I just like I was so upset because we could get out, but after that I just decided to go back home. I mean to go back in Atlanta. But
yeah.
yeah, I think that was the last time we saw each other. But I'm happy
Yeah,
to
it's
have
been
you as the first guest since start this podcast.
yeah.
So I'm happy to have you as the first guest. So
And I
yeah,
appreciate
we
that,
have a
bro.
good time. We
No,
have a
for
good
sure.
time. Like speak to folks like from Africa, like everywhere. That like
Yeah.
to understand how the journey is not easy. It's not be easy for us. You know, coming
No,
from
definitely.
different background and stuff, and be here. So that's the reason. Like I want you to share your experience because I know like this experience will inspire a lot of kid back home. Like they wanted to pursue their career here in USA. So at first, like I would want you to talk a little bit about your background and where you from and stuff like this. So that's why like we want to hear in the podcast first.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm originally from South Sudan. Um, I was born in Egypt actually because the war was going on and my mom didn't think it was safe anymore and she wanted to go to Australia, but we couldn't go straight from South Sudan to Australia, so we moved to Egypt and stayed there for 2 years. So I was born in basically Egypt on the way to Egypt, and then we lived in Egypt for 2 years, and then once I was born, after 2 years, we moved to Australia, and then I've been living in Australia ever since. But yeah, originally from South Sudan. I haven't been back because I don't know, I've just been with school and being in the US and stuff. But definitely want to go back soon and see some family members and stuff soon. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I know like I remember when I was back in Africa, when we hear like because South Sudan at first was one and when
Yeah.
like the war started and I know how
Yeah.
that journey can be and I know how like traumatized it can be as a kid, like have those experience
Yeah.
and be like tough enough for that. Like, that's something that like, I always admire when I see you like almost always smiling, always keep smiling in your face. Like right now in my country where I'm from in Congo, like in the east of Congo, it's been war over there like over 20 plus years. People
Mm.
are dying every day. People like man, it's been crazy. Like all of us, all of that because of our resources, about everything we had over there in Congo.
Yeah.
So like they trying to take
Definitely.
it that part. So it's been like a war since I was born. Think about it.
Yeah.
And
It's a
until
long
now,
time.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still there, but over 20 million people passed.
Yeah,
But hopefully, like it get well, and we don't want war in this world. We want like peace and living good. So
no,
that's
definitely.
really like what I want to shout out here. So
Yeah.
we said there,
I,
like, can you please talk to us about like how was it when you hear like the story about South Sudan, how the war happened? So as a kid there, like, you didn't really grow up like in South Sudan.
yeah.
So how it is for you? Like, let's say like tomorrow you wanna go back in your home country to visit. Do you still traumatized with those things, or like how it
Um,
is for you?
I think like obviously I didn't grow up there, but just like hearing stories from people that stayed behind, or my mom used to go back every now and then, just to visit family, and she still got a brother that stayed out there, so she used to go back all the time. She used to come back and tell us how it was. I mean, it was pretty bad at first. Obviously, we were once just Sudan, and then we were still split. But we didn't gain our independence till 2011. So it took a while for us to get our independence. And then finally, when we did, it was still some internal war, just tribes within tribes, and just some people wanting certain areas. And if you're not from a certain area, if you go into another area, it can be trouble. Um, and then obviously when you gain independence, now it's about who's going to run the country. So then now you got to worry about elections, and you got to worry about the corruption and stuff that happens. So it's very dangerous at that point. But I think, unfortunately, now with South Sudan, it's sport is just it's bringing us together. You can see now with the national team now, it's bringing the country together, and it's making it a lot safer because we're not worried about who's from what tribe or whatever. At the end of the day, everybody represents South Sudan that's playing on that team. So it's gotten safer now, and a lot of people even from here in Australia and all across the world are going back home now, moving back, and like starting to really really want to like make South Sudan a great place to live again. And I think the great thing about it is that we're using sports to bring us together, but then also we can bring people from who used to live in Australia or America and bring it back with the knowledge that they've learned from all these countries, bring it back, can only build the country up even more over time. So I think that's the great thing. Just having friends and stuff that now are going back now, and I'm hearing nothing but great things. It makes it good for me that haven't been back in a long time. Want to go back and want to experience that, because back then it used to not always be like that. People used to come back with stories about how dangerous it was and stuff, but now you're just hearing nothing but great things. So that makes it better for us, and it makes people from here feel like, wow, I can actually go back home. So yeah.
That's for me something like I really wanna shout out to South Sudan about what they did this summer. It was unbelievable. They almost be United States. So
Yeah.
like seeing that happen for me, like just give me joy. Like today, like I'm proud of like, I'm from Congo, like, but seeing like one of our like because for us Africa, I don't know anybody from Africa, just treat them as a
Mm.
brother or a sister. So I
Yeah,
was
facts.
supporting South Sudan when they play United States
Yeah,
and see like those guys that like play there. Most of them like live in Australia. Most of them like going to college in America, stuff like that.
yeah,
And they
yeah.
almost take United States head down. That's something that like inspired me. Like why not doing it for Congo? Like now we see like when we all come together in the game, we can
Mm.
accomplish a lot of things. So
Yeah,
like you
definitely.
being a basketball player. So before like we jump to all there, like I wanna know why you did not choose any other sport. You just wanted to play basketball, and who inspired you to play basketball?
I mean, when growing up, I played soccer. Like growing up, my brothers and
Obviously, that's
everybody.
Africa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We just naturally attracted to soccer, I guess. I guess nowadays it's changing, but back then, it was just always about soccer. Like I just grew up with like my older brothers. They used to always watch soccer games and always used to talk about soccer. So I'm like, hey, I just want to play soccer. So growing up, I always used to play soccer, and I'm happy that I actually do play soccer because just like the certain things that you learn from soccer can translate into basketball, just like the footwork and certain things like the making sure that you got endurance and stuff so that you can actually keep up with the game. Um, so certain things that I learned from soccer definitely translated to basketball, but I'll say inspire me. I will probably have to say just man, like just plays that like just went all out. Like the Kobe's and stuff, and then just like plays that also were just like anomalies are just like so different, like the KDs and stuff like that, like plays that are just like wow, like it doesn't matter their height, doesn't matter nothing. Like they just went all out and they shocked people, and it just made you feel like wow, like if I work hard, I can just be as good as them. So, those are also guys that like they preach hard work and all they're worried about is basketball. That's it. And that just makes you feel like, okay, bet like if I put in the work, then it can translate. And so that's really it. Like plays that really that put in time in the game definitely inspired me. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, like I would say, like, like I say, we are from Africa, so obviously, like, soccer is like the major sport. So
Yeah,
for me, I would
facts, yeah.
say, like, I was playing soccer, but I was born in a family that, like, most of my uncles play basketball. So to watch them play basketball, it was kind of like, at first I didn't want to do it, but when I see, like, I start getting taller, whatever, and then I decide I wanted to
Yeah.
play. And I would say like one of my uncle was one. It was the reason I play basketball. But if we bring it like internationally, I would say like Kobe as well because I remember 2008 when I see the Lakers losing the final against Celtics. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna play basketball and go help Kobe Bryant one day. So that was our dream, like when we were back home. So you know, and
That's dope.
unfortunately, that man passed away. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah,
would
that
have
was a
been
tough one. I
devastating.
remember when he
Yeah,
passed away, it
tough
was
one.
at school. I remember that. That was crazy.
And that was the
So
day like
yeah.
we was like arguing about between Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron because LeBron just
Yeah.
passed Kobe the day
Yeah, I
before.
remember
But
that. That was
yeah,
crazy, yeah.
and
Crazy
then
how
we were
life runs
playing
like that
Dawson at home, right?
sometimes.
We were playing Dawson at home,
Yeah,
right?
I remember playing Dawson at
Yeah,
home. That was crazy, yeah. That was so weird because I remember we had like a team. Obviously, we used to have like a team meeting in the
yeah.
morning,
And then we
and then
cut
I
our
remember,
hair as well.
yeah,
You
we had
remember
a
we did the
haircut. And then,
haircut? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then we went back to the dorm. I remember I had a shower. I was about to take a nap or whatever, and I look on
Mhm.
my phone in the city password. I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. So it kind of shocked everybody. Even on the team, we was talking about it. It just the game. It felt weird that day. Like it was a weird day.
Yeah, that day, yeah.
Uh, just
That
felt
day,
so
like
weird.
all of us, all of us.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
remember like we lost that game as well because I was like, wow, like,
Yeah, it just
yeah,
felt
that
weird.
was tough.
The vibe wasn't there. Yeah, the vibe,
Mhm.
like it kind of just messed up the vibe for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that day
But
was.
yeah, yeah. Now I know what you mean. As far as like internationally, yeah, definitely. Kobe definitely inspired a lot of players. Just
Kobe for us.
definitely one of
Kobe
those
for us, like
guys.
I feel like he's like Michael Jordan. He was like Michael Jordan for us because we
Mhm.
knew about all this player, but Kobe was the reason like most of the kid in Africa play basketball because he
Yeah.
was a hard worker and he was
Mm.
someone like out like he just want to kill someone on the court. Like that's literally the
Yeah.
reason I wanted to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. His mentality definitely it set him apart. Having that mentality, it's very contagious. Like, oh shit, like wow, like he's got somebody. He's not all friendly and stuff. Like he wants to actually win, and he's willing to do whatever it takes. And so, yeah, that's definitely dope. Like I definitely feel like Kobe definitely inspired a lot of hoopers. And yeah.
Yeah, so when you decide to like oh okay, I'm gonna take basketball serious and I'm gonna work hard and hopefully one day to play at a high level. So when did you want it to be like did you want it to be like okay, I think I will go to United States and become international student athlete because a lot of people don't know about it. So that's one of the first part we'll talk about right now. Like just why not just going overseas, but being a part of like being a student, international student athlete?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I feel like I don't know, like I felt like I wanted to play at the highest level as far as, playing against the best competition. And obviously I felt like in Australia, like, I mean, Australia is good and they have good players, but if you want to play against the best of the best, you always have to go to America. So my biggest thing was like, okay, how can I get myself to America? And the first thing I did was just like, okay, let me put myself in position while playing against, some of the best players in my area, compete against that and just keep growing. And then like once I started getting better and stuff, just started recording my games. They start showing what I'm good at. And then like remember like I had a lot of people around me, a lot of people I grew up with, a lot of friends and stuff that end up going to America. And I was like, oh wow, that kind of like drove me as well because they were leaving, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm here in Australia by myself, and they're gone for like the whole year. Like they're going from school in Australia in America is August all the way to May, and sometimes they're staying into August the next like that year, the whole summer they're staying. So I was like, damn, like I'm just here in Australia by myself, like going to school, whatever. But I'm like, damn, I actually want to go play in America. And, I'm calling and I was talking to him
Mm-hmm.
and this and yeah, like, wow, this is great. Like, this is great competition. America's different. Like, I've never been to America. So I'm like, wow, I can actually go to America, play basketball, which is the game I love, and just go to school for it as well. And then if you're good enough, like you can, they'll pay for your school and everything with scholarships. So it's like my mom doesn't have to, you know, put in a lot of money. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can get all that for free if I really work hard and dedicate myself into the game. So that's what I basically did. Just stayed in the gym, competed all the time. I was on the court, and then just got film and sent it out. And then I know it's hard. Like I had a lot of no's. I had a lot of people trying to make me pay. I had a lot of people like didn't even hit me back. It's tough. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're not like strong minded and if you're not like persistent and you don't like trust in your ability, you will crumble easily and you're like, oh well, it's not for me, and you would just stop. But you just gotta stay persistent with it. You gotta just trust in yourself. Trust that the person will see the videos that you're sending out. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and so that's what I basically did. I just stayed in the gym, recorded myself, and sent it out to coaches, and then got the feedback. If I got feedback and it was whatever, I would say thank you, blah blah, blah, and just keep it going until I felt like I found the right situation. And so, fortunately, I did, and I ended up going to do a prep school year in Atlanta, and that's how obviously I met you and a bunch of
Yeah,
the other
that's where we
guys as well.
married. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the
So,
process is it's definitely it's not easy. I felt like eventually, even especially back then, pre-COVID as well, it's a lot of kids from around the world were trying to go to America. And obviously
mm-hmm.
I think basketball now has changed where you don't actually have to go that route of college. So a lot of players are just like, oh well, I don't need to go to America anymore. Like a lot of players here in Australia, they're like, I don't need to go to America anymore. I can just play in Australia here and then eventually I can just go NBA, whatever. But for us, pre-COVID or years back, it was you gotta go to America, you gotta play college and NBA. That's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
So, the game back then, that's all it was. It's you go to America or you're not gonna, play anywhere or do anything. So,
So for me, I felt like when I was back home, like, I wanted to play basketball, obviously, in America, but I did not know about college life. I did not know about how life would be here. So when I came here in high school, like it was kind of cool, but I would just say like the first practice, man, was tough for me. Coming from Africa, like you think that you work hard until you
yeah.
go somewhere like you play against the best kid. I remember like I saw a kid
Yeah.
big like in high school, like bro, when I say big, like defined and stuff. And I look, I was like, yeah, he might be older than me. And I'm asking the age, and they told me like he's like 15. I was like, hell no. He's 15 and this
Yeah.
body type. And I just understood right away that like
Different, yeah.
yeah, it's
Different out
different.
there, yeah.
Competition
Yeah,
was
it's different.
different, especially before COVID. We knew like the way to get to the league most likely was just like you have to go to college, you have to play college here. And then
Yeah,
I feel like for
facts.
me as well, because coming from Africa, like here, like the tuition here, like having scholarship like of 20K or 50K a year,
Yeah, it's
and you
crazy.
think like you're like, dang, like 50K, that's someone can buy like a house, buy
Yeah,
the house back home
facts.
and
Yeah,
have your
yeah.
whole family there.
You don't have the money like that to pay for
Yeah,
like pay to play. You know, a lot of people can have that fortunate, are fortunate enough that they're able to pay to play. But us, it's like, is that the scholarship or it's not? It's not gonna
or like
happen
yeah, you
because
have to. There's days that like we sleep in the gym, we sleep outside just
yeah,
because we wanted to make it. Like at the end of the day, I say like if we go to the NBA one day and now like at least we making our way because you know how it is like coming from home at a young age, being here in America, like seeing what we saw, and then what we saw, especially like during those AAU tournament. We go to the
yeah.
game and after that we eat like some burgers and fries and playing three
Yeah,
games.
I think
It was
the
tough.
best thing about this, like the experience, is just like is the people you meet, the experiences you have, like all those stuff, like stay with you forever. And it's just a lot of stuff, like the experience that you have as an international student or just somebody. It's like a lot of people here in your own city would never have that feels because they always some people are just stuck in one place for their whole life. And I'm fortunate enough that, basketball was able to take me like around the world, basically. I don't think without basketball, I would have never went to America. I would have never met so much people and had those experiences. So, when you obviously you think so much like, yo, I want to make it here, I want to make it here. But then just all the experiences you have, you look back, you're like, wow, those are like, the people you meet and stuff. There's some people that you meet throughout that process, people that you consider friends and eventually family, So I'm
For
grateful for
me,
that in general,
mhm.
for sure.
That's why like sometimes when I look those, it's not like trying to throw shade on other student athletes, but sometimes they don't understand the journey. Like for us, like being here, it's such a blessing because there's a lot of kids way talented, like they didn't make it, like they didn't come here, but we here, and then sometimes we face like a lot of adversity. First of all, like me, English it was not my first language, so come
Yeah.
here, like I remember I'm going to practice. The coach is telling me like, I don't care how talented you are, you gotta know how to speak
Yeah.
English.
Yeah.
At first, I thought like it was crazy because I'm like, I can play, blah blah, but how you gonna communicate with your teammates on the court? How you gonna call out for
Yeah.
screen? How you gonna do this, do this?
Yeah,
So
that's
that
true.
kind of
Yeah.
motivate me as well. So so for me, that's something like I always tell people like whenever you have an
Yeah.
opportunity to come here, like meet people,
Yeah.
learn about other cultures,
Yeah.
like learn because this life is a full circle. Like you never know
Yeah.
when we're gonna meet again. You never know. Maybe Isaac's
That's
story
so
might
true.
inspire me because sometimes you think like you're going through a lot until you meet someone like who went through the worst. You
Yeah.
know, like
That's true. Yeah.
we play basketball literally outside. Like, see, when I was in Congo, we didn't have any
Yeah. I remember the
gymnast.
videos you showed me. Yeah. I remember the videos you used
Yeah,
to
I was
show.
skinny, and then, people always make laugh of it. But when I look back, I'm like,
Yeah,
we
it's
kind
hard
of the
work.
people that's yeah, we kind of people set up the blueprint because
Mm,
now the president like we have like three arenas now, like people
mm,
playing in arenas. But when
yeah.
I play there, we play outside. You can get
Mm,
hurt anytime. Like
yeah.
the living,
It's hard
like
work. Yeah.
it was just crazy. But
Yeah.
we here, but we made it here. So
Mm. Yeah,
yeah,
that journey is
what
like you
was
said,
the
a lot of people
mhm.
don't, like you said, other student athletes, they don't understand like the journey a lot of international kids have
They don't know.
and just like the sacrifices they have to make. Obviously like first off we're international, so we're not, some people have the fortune like are fortunate enough where their family will come with them. But for the majority, all their family is still in the country that they came from. And so,
Yeah,
and then also like you got to think Christmas and all these holidays, they're spending it on campus rather than being with their
that's
family. They're
that's
missing
the
out on
hard part.
birthdays. they're missing out
That's
on,
the
say
hard
somebody
part.
passes away, they can't just fly and then come back. It doesn't work like that. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's
that's
the
the
thing that
hard
a lot of
way.
like other student athletes don't understand. Like they're fortunate where
Mhm.
their family can come and watch their game in person, you know? Like a lot of us is like we gotta send it out to our family and and sometimes other family they're working,
Especially,
they got a life. So
mhm.
they can't watch our games and stuff, you know? So
Remember, especially during our sophomore year, like when they were introducing us. Think about what
yeah.
we accomplish at Miles. Like think about like we having our parents watching us
Mm,
playing the way we were playing, bro. We play hard. Like sometimes we think about, dang, I wish like my mom could be here. I
mm,
wish like they could see all these accomplishments, especially like when they call your name on the stage to get your degree, but your people
mm,
is not there. Like it's such of like the
mm.
worst feelings that people don't
Yeah.
understand. They think like, sometimes when they like no offense, but student athletes that like are living here in America, hey man, take advantage when you guys have parents come watch you guys play.
Yeah,
When you
thanks.
have your parents supporting you like far, like I mean it. Me and my
Mm,
boy here, like we went through the worst, man. We were like the two best in the team, but all those stats we have, no parent was here to watch us play. Like
mm,
my whole college career, since I played basketball, my mom only watched me once, and it was
mm.
in Africa. She didn't have time, man.
Crazy, yeah. Yeah.
She didn't have
Yeah, I
time.
know. The whole time I was in America, my mom never came and watch me play live. Like I never had no siblings watch me live. Like yeah, man. So it's like you gotta like obviously like some people's parents I know that every game they might be there for like a certain occasions, but it's still like they're still there, you know. Or if
Yeah.
like they have some issue or something, they can quickly catch a flight, go see them. Like it's not crazy, but for us like the time
Mhm.
differences is crazy and
And
all
plus
that,
the
you know.
plane, bro. The plane money,
Yeah,
bro. And
yeah,
like
everything is money. Yeah.
right now, like we in the position that like today I can invite my mom, but bro, if I go back when we were in Miles City, like we were only work like 19 hours, bro, and we get paid like $5 or $7, bro.
Yeah, the
And you
minimum
think
wage
about
was
it, like,
crazy. Yeah,
oh, you making
yeah.
like 400 a month. You coming after practice, you tired, those
Yeah.
wings, bro.
Nah, that's
Oh
yeah, that's
man,
crazy. That's what I'm saying.
the
Like you build like a connection with other people who are going the same thing, like going through the same thing you are. Like that's how I felt like I was closer with a lot of the international guys, like you and Irvin and
shout
Dustin,
out to
because all you
Irv, man.
guys,
Yeah, shout out to
yeah, because
Dustin too.
all you guys are international, so like you guys understood how it was. Like obviously you guys didn't have your family come down and watch you play at all the whole time it was there.
Mhm.
So we all understood each other's struggle, like being away from home and just being like, yo, you're actually here alone. Like obviously your coaches and stuff are here, but and your teammates, but really you're out here alone, like no family, no nothing. And you gotta grow up. Like you gotta grow up quick, you know? Um
Yeah, that's
yeah, you gotta grow up, you gotta become a man quick because it's like you're out here, yo, in a whole different country by yourself. And you gotta make sure that you take care of yourself and you gotta make sure that everything's okay with you, because and then, like they say it's scholarship, but it's a year to year like it's like a contract basically. Like if you're not performing,
mhm.
then
They're getting
they'll get
away.
rid of
They're taking
yeah,
away.
they'll get rid
Yeah,
of they'll
take
say,
them.
oh, we don't have enough money for
Yeah.
your scholarship, or they'll come up with an excuse
Mhm.
to get rid of you. So they'll
Yeah.
say it's a scholarship, but really it's a contract. So you gotta make sure you're
Mm-hmm.
performing and you gotta make
The
sure that
perform, bro.
yeah,
People
you're on
don't
your A game.
understand that, man.
Yeah,
People
gotta
don't
make sure you're
understand
doing
that.
the classes and all
Oh,
that. Like it's really
yeah,
student
man.
athlete. Like you got to make sure that you're on top of your school stuff because
Not bad.
if you're not
You
performing
know,
and you're not
we have a lot of teammates that were sent back home because they were not performing in class. You know that, right?
yeah, definitely. I had obviously we had that at Miles. I had that when I went to my second school at Shawnee State. I had dudes that just like you look at them like damn, like bro, all you gotta do is just show up. Like most of the time, these professors
Mhm.
they'll pass you. Like if you just show up and you do something, at least they'll give you something.
That's what I'm
But that
saying.
just comes with understanding, like being grateful in the position you are. Like I'll tell people
Mhm.
like, damn, man, like I've got so much people back at home that would die to be in your position you are right now, and you take it for granted. you
A
know?
lot of kids,
And
man. A lot of kids.
yeah, a lot of kids would that work so hard, nothing, and never get the opportunity. But then you're out here taking
Hmm.
it for granted.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the, end of the day, you're just like, hey man, it's just like that's how it is sometimes. Unfortunately, not everybody gets an opportunity. So that's why when you're in a position, you gotta take full advantage of it. Work extra hard, make sure you're doing your work, make sure you're on top of your stuff to the point where it's like coach should never be like, hey, you're not working, you're not working hard on the court or off the court. You should always be like, okay, no matter what, I know he's gonna bring 100% every time. And coach will respect you for that, no matter what. You know, as long as you're going 100% every time, they'll respect you. They're like, you know what? I don't have to worry about this guy. I know it's well, no matter what, he's gonna bring 100%. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, that's something that like I always tell people. I know like you guys probably came in high school, but that college life is tough. It's tough. It's super tough, like to just make it to a high level like we did. Like it was not easy. It was not easy. Some days you don't want to work out. Like you have nobody gonna push you. Like you have your mom gonna push you. You have no
yeah,
families gonna
facts.
push
Yeah,
you. You sick, you sharpen practice.
mm.
You have like you can't some days like you hurt, but you have to show up. You have to
Yeah,
show up and work out. So I think like for
yeah,
me that kind of build the character because now like we like everywhere we go like we have like a solid foundation. So that's how I call
mm,
it. And then I'll say like most of the time is like I always give praise to God. Like God was the reason like we were making it because sometime when I look back, things that like we face, bro, sometimes I'm like, how did we live from this to this place to that place?
mm,
It's only God, man. Sometimes it's only God. So that's why I tell people
yeah.
like whatever we do, keep God, keep God, keep God. Like God is the big inspiration of everything. So
No, the
uh
facts.
yeah.